Okay, so just got done watching Smack Talk's latest video. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. I have linked it via the description box below and it is very good. It gives you everything you need to know when it comes to AEW and the potential of an All Elite Wrestling video game. Now Smack Talks did confirm two main contenders who could pick up an All Elite Wrestling title, those being Kenny Omega's favourite, Aki, which is now known as Sin Sophia, and of course the now obsolete Yukes, who no longer will be working on the WWE 2K franchise. So with this in mind, I wanted to ask the question, with Kenny Omega looking to confirm more details at the end of this year regarding an AEW video game, in 2020, which I would expect the game to be worked upon, who is the best fit to develop an AEW game? Is it Aki, now known as Sin Sophia, or is it Yukes? Now we all know that Aki is tried and tested when it comes to creating a wrestling game, but it's been a long time since we've seen one from them. The one that stands out the most is of course WWE No Mercy. That game is tried and tested, and the gameplay engine has been emulated by many others because it is that damn good. But saying that, does a No Mercy style game transition into 2020? Is it something that the fans would go and pick up? I know many get excited when Kenny Omega says it because of the nostalgia, but would you? Because I take for example Fire Pro Wrestling. That game to me is very good. It's fun. But the feedback that I see in comment sections on YouTube and general criticisms is the game itself might be fun, but people don't like the look of it. They don't like the visual presentation. And you have to say, that's one thing WWE 2K have got right. Visually each year the game looks solid. That's my view on it. I do think visually WWE games look good. So, if Aki and Sin Sophia gave us the great gameplay engine of the past, which is the No Mercy engine, however in 2020 it still has that blocky style look, a throwback to the past, which I think is part of the reason why Kenny Omega likes it, that nostalgia. If you got that in 2020 from AEW as their video game, would it make you happy? For PlayStation 4 and Xbox, would that visual appearance be something you'd be happy with because you get that great gameplay engine? Because you have something like that now with Fire Pro, but the feedback is because it don't look good, it doesn't make many happy. So I wanted to put that out there, although I will say I'm sure that Aki and Sin Sophia have come a long way since the days of No Mercy. So visually the game is bound to look improved. But I'd also say that part of the draw for that engine is the nostalgia. So let's move over to Yukes. Now Yukes, as we know, have played a major part in the WWE games franchise for many years, and just recently they decided to step away from WWE 2K because they felt that they weren't able to implement the changes that they want to make a wrestling video game. Now many thought that that was going to mean that they would be working on a separate WWE game, but it appears that that might not be the case, and it could be that they could end up working with All Elite Wrestling. Now Yukes have said that they've developed their own engine that they wanted to use in the WWE games franchise, but were never able to use it, a new engine. Could that be the engine that is used for AEW? Maybe. Now we also know Yukes have a strong resume when it comes to wrestling games. They have been on hand with WWE for so many years, working with THQ and then 2K, and I would have to say that visually we know that their games were impressive too. Working with THQ, I actually love the visuals of the old SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, SmackDown Just Bring It, the SmackDown vs Raw series. I think those games, albeit it is different to what we've got with WWE 2K, I liked visually the way those looked. If I had to pick an engine, I maybe prefer Aki's. Just saying, I think I preferred the way the No Mercy engine worked to, say, for example, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. However, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain had so much to it. So it's trying to find which one would work better, but also as well, it is taking a bit of a leap of faith with either one of these. Because going into 2020, we don't know how good these two can put together a wrestling game and who would do it best for AEW. So that's why I'm asking the question, because in all honesty, I don't know which one I would choose. And I think as well, it depends on the audience. In this current day, in 2020, does the nostalgia really sell? Does it? 'Cause sometimes I think retro games are awesome. They're great to go back and play. But that's the point. You're going back. If something comes out now that has that retro vibe, is that going to engage a new audience, a new set of fans, you know, the kids of this day? I have to hold my hands up and say, I'm not so sure. Because if criticism is coming to, say, Fire Pro Wrestling for that reason, then why would it work for AEW? Just saying. Now the one thing I must say about all of this is that it is very exciting, because at last we have competition in the gaming verse when it comes to wrestling. We haven't had competition in terms of wrestling for a number of years now. WWE have dominated the sphere. But now AEW is on the horizon, and of course, albeit they're not immediate competition, WWE knows that AEW is there. I mean, Cody Rhodes taking a sledgehammer to the throne of the King of Kings wasn't a message enough. They know it. They've been moving around their shows, shuffling them here or there, placing WWE events on the same date as All Elite Wrestling shows. So they know that competition could be coming, and competition always brings out the best in a company. That's my feeling. When the pressure is on, you have to rise to the occasion. And now we're getting this in the gaming sphere when it comes to wrestling too. So I'm excited about this. I really am. A challenger to the WWE 2K franchise. Of course, we have Fire Pro out there. But now, with the star power behind All Elite Wrestling, and them teaming up with either Aki, Yukes. I mean, I could have thrown other names out there as well. I really could. We could have said EA. But let's be honest, I think the draw here for AEW to create their own video game is to do it their way. And they are gamers, and Kenny Omega enjoys that retro style. That's why I thought it was worth mentioning that they could go down this route. And if it would be something that would appease fans in 2020, they're going to do it their way. Because that's how they've done it from the offset with All Elite Wrestling. So that's why I don't see them reaching out to, say, someone like EA Sports, which doesn't really tie into why Kenny Omega enjoys video games. Of course he might enjoy a few EA Sports titles, but he's a hardcore retro fan. And that's why he's championing, and he's mentioned it outright, say something like the Aki engine. So anyway, I want to get your views and opinions on this. I think it's a great talking point. Smack Talks really started the conversation with the news that he covered. Go and check out what he had to say. He does even include screenshots of some scans that are being taken, whether or not they are for a video game or action figures or both. We don't know yet, but it's awesome to see. So I want to get your views and opinions on this. Aki and Sin Sophia or Yukes? Cool. Could you imagine if Yukes managed to drop this engine and it is better than 2K's engine? I mean, what on earth will WWE think to that? That they parted ways with Yukes? Awkward. Anyway, but for now, please rate, comment and subscribe. Exciting times in the gaming sphere when it comes to wrestling, and I'll see you later.